Hey, look at that. It's all of us.
Our faces?
People are here. All right. Thanks for being here, everybody. We'll go ahead and get started in just a second. We are actually playing D&D. So let me pull up some stuff. All right. Well, before we get started, I actually just seriously want to say thank you to everyone who has agreed to play with the inexperienced DM. I've only DM'd, probably one full campaign and a couple one-shots, so not a whole lot, but you know what? I'm super excited, and this is going to be fun. And if it's super janky, obviously blame me, because I gotta... I'm the one trying to do all this, so... All right, so let's see. But like I said, before we get going, Allie, real quick, do you have your Roll20 Beyond 20 installed? Yeah.
I just now did it while you were gone.
All right. Okay. So fun fact for everyone here, for if you're new to using the Beyond 20 extension, if you hold down, I believe, Shift when you're clicking that is what gives you advantage when you're rolling. Okay. And I think Control is disadvantage. So that's just a nice fun fact. That's super useful. Yeah, that way you don't have to roll twice and then go, oh, use that damage or use that. You know what I mean? So,
well,
good
that's
stuff.
Nifty.
Yeah. Yeah, there you go. You did it. Well done. Doing a strength check. Look at that. Nice, nice. Right.
I like it. It's pretty handy.
Yeah, I like it too. All right, let me go ahead and bring this up. All right, so with that, is everyone ready to actually play some D&D?
Yes.
Awesome. Give it a shot. And then real quick, I'll just ask, stream chat, can you hear us just okay? No issues? Can you hear me and the players? Like I can turn them up, turn them down, just before I start yakking and then things are bad. I just would like to fix it now before, we get going. So.
Sound off. He wants us to say things. We should all say things.
Yes. You can definitely say things.
Things.
I was dragged here against my will. Get me out of here! Save me!
All right, well...
There is no saving from this.
Roll a saving throw. Let's see if you can get out of here. It would have been a wisdom saving throw, and the fact that you played, you failed. All right, well, here it is. Perfect. So, with that, let's go ahead and actually play. So I got my little opening starter script, since this is the very first session of my little campaign that I have created here. So, let's go. Let's go. All right, so welcome everyone to the continent of Tellor. 39 years have passed since the end of the last Great War, and the world has been in a state of relative peace ever since. There has been a disagreement between the city-states in the Midlands, but the four great nations have not taken up arms against each other since. But rumors of war can always be heard whispered among the commoners in every tavern, in every city, especially in the western nation of Vero. The citizens of Vero and his capital of Senosher have talked for nearly 4 decades about rebuilding and reclaiming their lost honor. Or is it vengeance that they seek? Because everyone knows that their neighbors to the north, Van Lees, had to resort to the northern tribes fighting their war for them. It was obvious that without their help, Vero would have been the victor and not degraded by the years of foreign support. It was the national embarrassment to accept help from those that had just defeated them in the war, but it was a better alternative to seeing its people starve in the streets. And to think it was all but a certainty that the great nation of Vero would have been the victor less than 2 years before losing the war, when the Knights of Senosher and the massive stone golems known as Sentries pushed the Southerners from Cylindra back to the gates of Akramar. Even their ferocious dragon warriors were no match for the legendary paladins and the regiment of walking colossi. The southern nation was forced to surrender and withdraw from the war. This allowed Vero to turn its full attention to Van Lees and win the war once and for all. And far from any of the fighting, the wealthiest nation, watched the war rage in the west, while the eastern nation of Estwild funded the different sides. Most of the wealthy houses backed the safe bet, Vero, but only one family had bet its fortune that the northern nation of Van Lees would be the victor. The Saxton family loaned all they could to Van Lees as the war dragged on, even when prospects of them ever seeing a scrap of their loans paid back narrowed. Everything changed when the barbarian tribes of the northern lands joined the battle. The military might of Vero was unmatched, but even the greatest trained warrior can't defeat an opponent that believes their whole way of life depends on the outcome of the war. You see, the tribes of the north brought the fury of the mountains with them, and they marched south for war. The green rolling hills of Vero began to freeze as the Stormlords made their way towards Senosher, and the ensuing battle was one that will likely not be forgotten for many generations. The Knights of Senosher and even the great centuries crumbled beneath the fury of the barbarian tribes. No one in Vero will ever forget that day. That one battle now shapes much of the world today because without Lord Saxon would not be the de facto ruler in Estwild. He wouldn't have been able to turn his stroke of fortune into owning nearly the entire country had his bet against Vero not paid off. And there, in Estwild, nearly 40 years later, is where our story begins. The world is still scarred deeply by the outcome of that one battle, but no one really speaks of that anymore. These days, the locals are all abuzz about the upcoming festival of Imbolc to celebrate the coming of spring. Winters in Estwild are always rough, so the locals celebrate Imbolc with a great feast that can last for days at a time. The largest celebration of the holiday is found in Inaron, and attracts attendees from all over the country to join in on the fun. So, with that, I would, turn the camera over to you, Allie, as I see you looking down. Go ahead and quickly...
I'm writing notes.
Yeah, go ahead and quickly introduce your character and how long have they been in Inaron and what are they up to right now?
Well, my character is Morgan Dawes. Are we saying what class they are and stuff?
Oh, sure, yeah. Yeah, let us all know.
She's a human fighter. Human variant fighter. And she is a new arrival to Inaron, coming from the Midlands. After spending much time with her family and cohorts to bring peace and order to the Midlands and failing often, she's taken some time to explore other areas and how they run their politics and trying to hone more of her skills and bring it back to the Midlands and hopefully make it a better place. So she starts her journey over in Estwild. And she just recently got there. And she's in the tavern because that's what she does.
Perfect. All right, so Morgan, you are hanging out in the tavern, ordering a couple drinks. As of right now, nothing too interesting going on other than the fact that the city itself is actually quite packed with the celebration that is currently going on. So with that in mind, I'll turn it over to you, Mr. Berserker, or shall I say Therion. Is that how you say your character? Yes?
Yeah, Therion. It's
Perfect.
It's a heavy metal band. I was wondering, sorry. Not that original. So, Therion Nightbreaker. Therion is also a human variant paladin, and the brief backstory is that Therion at one time was a soldier in the service of the Lord of Estwild, and through a series of events, he was relieved of his service and was thrown in the military prison in Sinashur. Found faith down there in the bowels of the dungeons and fought his way back to Inaron, where he's hoping to have a personal word with his former employer.
All right. So you're currently hanging out in the tavern as well, I'm assuming?
That sounds like a great place.
All right. Sounds like a great place to me as well. Perfect. Well, as you are hanging out with the tavern, like I said, You don't see anything out of the ordinary, but there is this one very large-looking woman. You know, nothing too out of the ordinary, but a little larger, and you can't help but notice that she has 2 large axes strapped to her back as well, which is a little out of place for this time of day. You know, you don't necessarily like go around thinking that, oh yes, axes on the back. That's totally what you wear while you're going out for a drink. But apparently this country bumpkin, as someone in the city might have referred to her as, is always strapped and ready for war. So that right now, that is the only thing that you see a little out of place. All right. Other than that, you know, people are carrying on, talking about the festivals that are going on around them. And they are just, you know, abuzz with the fact that for once, you know, things are pretty decent. All right. So now I'm just going based on how everyone is laid out in my Discord call. I'm going to go with Mr. Burkhart, or shall I say Raymond. So, what have you been up to in this fine city of Inaron?
Raymond's just got off the road, and I've been collecting Lord Saxton's taxes, and I've just dropped them off at the bank. I'm kicking off the mud coming into the tavern.
Perfect. Yes, the city streets can be a bit muddy, as often very rainy this time of year. Don't get a lot of snow in this part of the country, but just lots and lots of rain. You can think of it kind of like the Pacific Northwest. You get some snow, but mostly just very, very cold rain, and it's just irritating. No one really likes it. So, as you walk in, you do see, you know, just like I said, you know, one, you know, well-armed person sitting at the bar, enjoying a couple drinks, and another person sitting off in the corner, probably minding his own business. Nothing really catches your eye other than the fact that he's, I don't know, looks like, according to this picture here, he's got an interesting hat that you wouldn't expect to see in this part of the area. But, you know, that kind of hat you would expect more on the western side of the continent. But, you know, it suits him well. All right. So, anything that you would like to check out there? Or are you good to just kind of take a seat and...
I'll take a seat at the bar.
Perfect. Well, while you take a seat, I'm gonna go and turn it over to the one and only Beans. So, how long have you been in this neck of the woods?
Well, I've been here for a few days because there was this whole thing about a big party, and I'm all about big parties, so I just followed along with the group that was headed that way. And you know, when they weren't looking, I just kind of hopped on a wagon because I'm small, so it's kind of easy. I'm a halfling. I enjoy performing and just in general looking around and having fun.
Perfect. So you've been hanging out at the bar. I'm assuming you may have, you know, got a couple coin from doing a little bit of entertaining, as I'm guessing, as you were like to do.
Absolutely. And I'm just sitting at a table, and I have a little bag that I'm dipping up and down into hot water and just hanging out.
Perfect. Well, as you are hanging out, like I mentioned, nothing really out of the ordinary. You've been here a couple days. There's always some interesting characters that tend to find their way through this particular tavern. Probably the name of it is what, you know, it tends to draw this kind of crowd. The Hero's Tale Inn is what it happens to be known as, where it's kind of like the resting stop for all of those that like to come in off the road and, you know, just looking for a quick bite to eat, perhaps something along those lines. So yeah, nothing too out of the ordinary. However, you know, you don't see too many people with 2 battle axes strapped on their back, or it's a little out of the ordinary. But as you are, you know, hanging out, you you happen to notice one more person enter the bar that you haven't seen. Well, I'm sure you've seen 1 or 2 of them in your travel, but not many of them have made their way into this part of the country, which is, I'll say, Mordecai. I'll just let you explain who your character is.
Well, I am playing Mordecai, an Aarakocra cleric. I hail from the plane of air, and I've only been on Tellor for a matter of weeks at this point. I have been given a vision from my god Talos to find my lost tribesmen. I know that bars are a great place to gather information, so my first stop has been here.
All right. So, as you walk in, the music dies down. Doesn't completely stop, but everyone kind of turns their head and they look at you. No one says anything. They're just kind of give you the side eye of like, the heck is this guy doing here? You know, just very much the who invited the bird. You know, let's just say the common folk of Inaran aren't exactly the most friendly at times, especially this time of year. You think after a couple drinks from the during the festival that they'd be a little nicer, but some people often, as you've probably known in real life, tend to be even a little meaner. I would even go so far as to say. So they give you a couple looks, but other than that, they don't really say anything, and then everyone just goes about their business. So as you are looking around, you see, well, it's rather kind of a packed house, people drinking, carrying on, but throughout the normal frivolity that you would probably expect during this time of year. But for you, I don't know, it might be a little out of place considering your origins and how long you've been on the material plane. You notice a couple people. Number one, like I keep mentioning, are very well-armed fighter sitting at the bar, minding your own business. No one's, not actually wielding anything just yet, just strapped to the back. And then a couple of other people, and then a very nondescript, what appears to be a tax collector standing off to the side. So, there we go. So, Mordecai, is there anything that you would like to do at the moment now that you are sitting around here?
Well, I will fold my wings tightly against my back, because it would be rude to knock people with them, and then make my way to the bar and wait for service.
All right. So it takes a moment or two as the bartender, it's quite busy making their way through over, but they do approach you and they look at you and they say, "Is there anything I could get you? I don't carry any bird seed, but I'm assuming you might want something else." No, apologies, we don't get many of your kind here, is all I'm trying to say.
Well, that's understandable, sir. I just need to know where I can go find some information.
Well, it definitely depends on what that information is. So you might need to be a little bit more specific.
You can tell by my appearance I'm not from around here.
Shocker.
Yes. I need to know if anybody has seen anybody with my plumage, other than me, of course.
No, I'm not aware of anything, but honestly, best thing you could probably do is talk to the city guard, see if they've seen or honestly arrested anyone. Well, and to be honest, it's going to depend on which of the city guardsmen you talk to. You best better to talk to the ones with well, honestly, similar plumage to you. They're the ones primarily with the blue coloring with their. If you talk to anyone else with the red, the bronze, they're the guardsmen of the much lower houses. Let me explain, since obviously you're new here. We don't have a unified city watch here in Inaran. Every wealthy family pays for their own protection, and for the most part, it's Lord Saxton that has the majority of the city watch, because, well, honestly, he owns just about all of it. So it's his duty to protect his belongings, if say as you will. So talk to one of them. Maybe they've run across anyone, or honestly, you could just talk to a couple of the other patrons. I mean, that one over there might know something. They look like they just got in off the road, or that muddy one over there. Well, they're all kind of muddy he's a little extra muddy.
Well, thank you. Appreciate the time. While I have your attention, could I get an ale, please?
Absolutely. So he pours it for you. He looks at your beak and he hands you the regular mug, and he's like, and then he just steps back and he's just watching. He's just wondering, how the hell is this gonna work? he just has to know.
To be fair, I'm not exactly sure myself.
He looks at it and he's like, do you need a straw? Will that help?
No, thank you. I can manage.
All right. Is there anything else I can help you with? Or
I'll
I got a
slip
couple.
over payment. Thank you kindly.
Yeah. So
And then I turn away from the bar and step away.
Perfect. All right. Is there anything else anyone would like to do at the moment? Yeah. All right. So, Beans, I see that you are waving at the nice lady. So Morgan, there is an interesting looking, not out of the ordinary. You got a couple little things on his clothing, a little bit more eccentric that you would probably notice of your normal, typical, farmer halfling. And he's just kind of waving at you. And so, is there anything that you would like to do?
I'm gonna side glance over and kind of look a little odd. Try to figure out why this person's waving. Probably, hold up my cup like this and little nod and then go back to taking a drink.
All right.
See.
I'm gonna sigh. Walk over there. Be like, hi. Do I know you?
Well, maybe you might know me. There was this misunderstanding about who owned what at the city in Duskin, where you used to work, and we kind of played hide and seek. You didn't seek me very well because I must have hid really well, but I remember you from then.
You must have. I've been in many places and I've worked in many places. I can't say that I have the best memory sometimes because I have been so many places, and I can't say I remember that story.
Hey,
But
I don't mind.
You must have been really good then.
We'll say different things, but I think I'm really good.
What's fair? What's your name?
My name is Beans. Well, I mean, it's Bernard, but I go by Beans because I like things that have lots of beans in them, like right here. I can get you some of this right here. They call it coffee, and you take the beans and you put it inside the cup, and sometimes they call it kava, but it's really nice, and you can have some if you'd like. I have extra.
I'll stick to the stronger stuff for now, but thank you.
Okay.
All right.
So what were you doing here, Beans?
Well, there's supposed to be a really big party, and every time there's a real big party, there's always room for people to perform and have fun. And sometimes they drop things on the floor, and I'm really good at finding those, so it's a fun place to be.
That sounds good. And I'll probably take a seat next to Beans because I'm here to learn about people and the way everyone handles things, so why not?
All right. So, is anyone else noticing this this little quick conversation about the journey and the hide and seek? So I'll point it to you, Mr. Therion. So you see this conversation happening about someone who apparently was hiding, seeking, not seeking very well, something along those lines, and it's a little confusing. Is there anything that you would do at this moment?
Clearly, the combination of this giant axe-wielding woman and this halfling having a conversation is of interest, because this isn't something that you see every day. And given sort of my long-term goals, I think this is a situation that Therian would want to check into. Getting up from my space and casually walking over and asking, or saying something to the effect of how this is an odd pairing. And I'd love to know the story about what is exactly happening here. Trying to think of a way to phrase this. But that's about the best that I can do, and I don't want to hold up the show. So
I don't think you're odd. I think you're a really nice person. You can join us anytime.
thank you. It's not every day we see a giant dual-axing woman and a halfling having a conversation about hide and seek, and it doesn't seem like it would be much of a surprise that someone of your size may not be able to find somebody of such a stature. But you two stick out to a great deal, and I'd love to know how it is that you two came to be here, and what exactly might be going on here, if you don't mind me asking.
I don't actually know. Just got here from the Midlands, and Bean started waving at me, so I came over because I'm new to the area, so why not?
I also heard something about a cafe.
Yes. Would you like some? If you get some hot water, I have the beans.
Tell me more about this. I would love to hear about this.
It's really good. It's really good. You just put it inside. Well, I have this thing, and you put the beans through, and then it comes out powder on the other. Well, not really powder, but it's kind of ground just a little bit, and then you put that inside this little muslin bag, and then you put that in the hot water, and then you get coffee by the cup. It's really cool. I'd seen somebody do it, and so then I asked them if I could do it, and so that's what I do now.
This is exactly the low level kind of magic I come into these establishments for. So please, I would
Sure.
love to try some. I'll ask the barkeep for some hot water. I'll be right back.
Yeah, they'll try to give you tea, but you don't want any tea in it. You just want the hot water.
I don't trust tea. So yeah, that's a great call. So can I go over and get some hot water? Come back.
Absolutely. Yeah.
All right. So I'll come back. Maybe take a seat there next to Beans, and he can show me his beans magic.
Absolutely. All right. So around this time, so for you, Mordecai, you do notice a couple of the city guards that you were told about. They are dressed in kind of like a silver and blue look, like jokingly, the barkeep wasn't too far off. They look a little bit like they're going with your color scheme, but and they're looking around and they see Beans and they're just like, okay, no, nothing out of the ordinary here. So they don't do anything. They're just watching, making sure nothing is getting out of hand. Is there anything that you would like to do?
I'll take a sip from my ale and approach the guardsman. Excuse me, gentlemen. Might I have a moment of your time?
Again, they react to your, look, just as most people have so far. Just a little bit of shock, and I think that not sure anyone has actually seen an Aarakocra of your same look. So you could probably almost get the feeling right off the bat that they haven't seen anyone that looks quite like you, but they just look and say, "Sure, what do you need?"
Well, I can tell by your expressions I'm probably not going to like the answers, but have you seen anybody who looks like me, other than me?
No, I can't say that I have. I mean, we get the occasional Aarakocra, coming through here. For the most part, they stick to the lower side of the city. But no, I mean, we haven't seen anyone quite like you. No offense, but they're usually a bit more of on the duskier tones, if you know what I mean. Kind of
Yeah, I've noticed.
dirty and drab, if that's what you're basically I don't really, I've not actually met or had a conversation with Aarakocra, so again, don't take my ignorance as insulting. That's just me.
None taken, friend.
Okay, that's good.
Blast it all. Well, thank you for your time.
as a matter of fact, I do have one quick question for you. Have you is there anything that you have seen out of the ordinary? You know, just making sure that we are keeping tabs on everyone. You know, we don't want anything out of the ordinary happening during the celebration. A lot of people can get a little unruly this time of year. Things can get a little out of hand. So we just want to make sure that, you know, everyone's doing their part, if you will. So yeah, if you do see anything, or if you have, just please let us know.
My friend, everything I've seen since I've been here has been weird to me.
Well, okay, well, all right. So
I don't think I'd be the best judge of what to tell you is wrong or not.
all right, okay, that makes sense. Well, if you do see anything, please let us know, and we'll go ahead and leave you alone for now. But just keep that in mind. Just trying to keep the peace as you will. So, all right, you have a good day there.
I'll do that for you. At this point, my attention is probably grabbed by the tiny halfling, a very hyperactive halfling, explaining his new drink to two random people.
Yeah. Okay.
Call my curiosity piqued.
All right. So you take a seat, or at least approach the table that they're sitting there.
Well,
And
you're a strange one. You're really exciting looking. What do you want to do? And how do you drink out of the cup like that?
Very carefully.
all right. So at this point in time, there is another man that comes into the bar, and he starts scanning the room, and he actually looks over at your direction there, Raymond. And he approaches you, and he just looks at you and says, have you made your latest delivery yet?
About an hour ago.
See, that's funny. See, I heard that when you dropped it off, that you were skimming some off the top. So if you don't mind, you just letting me know, whenever Lord Saxton wants you to collect taxes, you're supposed to turn over the entire amount to the coffers. So if you would be so kind as to come with me, I would like you to see if there's anything that you could do. However, this man wasn't exactly being all that, I would say, stealthy. He was being a little bit, little too out there, and at the same time, it actually is the city guards in the bar there. At the same time, it piques their interest as well. So they look over, and they approach him, and they're like, "Is everything all right here?" And he initially says, "Oh yes, I'm just trying to settle a matter in the name of Lord Saxton." Is there
Why
anything-
yes. Yeah, well, yes. Sorry to interrupt you. Like, this man was here to pay his taxes. And I'm going to use deception.
Yeah, go for it.
$22.
Hot damn.
Yeah, so the guards, they take a look, and they look at him, and they say, "All right, well, the man is obviously of telling the truth, so perhaps you should pay up. We've seen this man as a well-respected tax collector, and we trust him. So please pay up." And at this point,
I pull a big book out and I double check. Ooh, I might actually need your help with this matter. It seems he's 4 years behind on his taxes. Lord Saxton doesn't take kindly to that.
yeah, and at this point, he is getting a little irate, and he's like, "This man is lying. I don't know what you're talking about. I was sent here to collect the taxes that he wasn't returning to him. But being that your deception was quite so high, he is suddenly getting very flustered, and the guards aren't having any of it. He is trying to explain what is going on with the situation, but however, it's just not going very well. So he just is getting very frustrated, and he doesn't have anything to prove whether or not you are lying. So he just looks over at the guards and says, look, if we just go back to my home, I can prove everything is in order here. I am not doing anything out of the ordinary. And the city guards basically says, look, I understand that you probably don't have all of the money with the taxes with you right now. However, you are going to need to pay up. So, Raymond, if you would, please go ahead and give him his tax bill, and we'll be certain to see that this is paid up.
Okay. I fill out 20 gold worth on there, and then I hand him the bill with a little note at the bottom say, if you say anything again, you'll be in a ditch.
All right. So at that point, the city guards, they do escort the man out of the bar, and they send him on his way. But when that happens, you do see a couple rather unruly patrons look over at you and say, "Hey, you one of them tax collectors? Is it? Like, what's going on here? Like, I don't like them tax collectors. They keep taking our money."
Are you paid up?
Well, I'm certainly paid up. I don't want to spend my evenings in the prison. I don't know if you've ever been in those. Those are not exactly the most friendly of places.
That's all right. Even if you weren't paid up, he just paid your taxes for the next year. So good luck.
All right. Well, and the patron, he looks around. And he's like, look, we don't really like your kind here in this part of the city. So if you would just take yourself out of the bar, I would be so kind. And with that, he actually reaches for his dagger. Nothing too threatening. Doesn't pull anything out yet, but he's just basically letting you know that, well, tax collectors aren't exactly the nicest of people.
Well, I understand, friend. And I cast Charm Person on him.
All right. Let's see. I'm a DC 13 save, so let's just see. Okay, well, he fails.
What's your name, friend?
Reginald.
You got any kids, Reginald, or family?
Well, yeah, certainly, of course. I'm a upstanding family man. You know how it is.
Oh, I know. You're good friends with me. That's fine. But I'm just gonna sit here and finish my drink. If that's all right with you.
Well, certainly. You seem like good people. I'll leave you be. And he even looks over at a couple of his friends. He's like, you know what? This is one of the good ones. All right, let's leave him be. And he walks over and he takes a seat and he just kind of looks around for a second and he just, yeah, this is one of the good ones. All right, so you have rather masterfully kind of de-escalated the situation, and at this time you probably see a table of 4 coffee drinkers staring off in your direction.
Given I was about to ask for a cup of coffee, I will. You have more, or is that it?
Well, I always have more. I have lots of coffee. All you need to do is get a cup of hot water, and I'll be glad to be able to share.
Yeah, and at this point, the barkeep has actually brought over an entire effectively kettle of hot water because he didn't want anyone else to bug him, and it does take a while to brew, and this is the only table that's talking about hot water. So yeah, there's plenty of hot water to go around.
Well, to be fair, I'm happy with my ale. I'm just really curious about what's got this halfling, vibrating like a something.
Well,
All right.
you know, it really tastes good, and it's really fun, and the alcohol stuff that y'all like to drink that has a tendency to make me go to sleep.
Yeah.
Well, fair enough.
Okay. All right. So, while you guys are talking and you are sitting around the table, you do hear a large crash in the background as one of the patrons has basically started up a little bit of a bar fight. And when I say a little bit, it's almost a full-out brawl. And one person decides that, yay, you know what? These people seem to like it. They can join in the fun. And at this point, we're just going to go ahead and say, go ahead and roll for initiative because, yeah, well, let me go ahead and set this up here for you so you can roll for initiative properly. And we'll go ahead and do this real quick here. And let's go send you over here. And send y'all in here. There we go. All right, you can start putting yourself in a position where you think that you would be sitting roughly in the bar here. So yeah, go ahead and throw yourself wherever you would like.
Where's the entrance?
The entrance is on the northern side of the bar there, a little bit beyond the table. All right. Okay. Let me go ahead and get this up. All right, so as I got the little turn order thing here, what you're going to do is you'll need to select your character and then roll initiative, and it should show up. If you actually click on your token, it should throw your turn order into the turn order tracker there. Yep, there we go. All right, looks like 1, 2, 3. All right, so let me go ahead and remove this one.
Fucking 2. Yeah.
You're really excited about this fight.
Game is
Apparently.
rigged.
There we go. So we're gonna go ahead and let's see. All right. Yeah, just bear with me as I am trying to figure all this out here. Here we go. There we go. I'm going to go ahead and we'll just do this. And there's one there.
Do I need to re-roll mine? Because it seems to have been removed from the turn order.
You appear to be there for me, but
I don't see him.
you don't see him? Yeah.
It was an 8.
All right. Let me. Yeah, go ahead and just re-roll yours. And I'll set it at an 8.
I like the 20 better, though.
Nap. All right. And let's see here. Oh. Let me go ahead and roll that again, but I will then. There we go. It's actually a 4. That's what he got.
And I don't know if this is normal, but it's showing Bean's initiative as 7.17.
Yeah, that's just a setting in the. That's a setting for the roll 20 and the thing. The 17 is his dex modifier, so it's used in the event of a tie. So that whoever has the higher dex typically will go first.
Ah, okay, that makes sense. I like that.
Yeah, so that yeah, it's a setting in the whatever it's called. Yeah, whatchamacallit. I don't remember what. Beyond 20. That's the word I was looking for.
That one thing there.
Yes, that is what I was looking for. All right, so let's see, and there we go. No one here. Let me go ahead and actually get them into the actual a real spot, and there we go. So none of the aggressors has actually made any moves, except that you see this one here, Mordecai, coming towards you, the one at the north, and he appears to be interested in you just because he's like I've never fought a bird before. But with that,
Fair enough.
yeah, it is Raymond. It is up to it is your turn.
Well, I'm gonna go ahead and hold my action for attack, just in case one of these fools decides they want to come at me.
Mm-hmm.
Because I'm smart enough not to pick a fight if I don't have to.
There we go. Perfect. So you're just holding your action, and are you actually doing anything? Are you readying an action, or just waiting to see what happens?
I'll wait and see what happens. I'll stand up at least so I'm not sitting down.
Okay. Sounds good. All right. So that is now Morgan. It is your turn.
Do I see weapons?
Oh yes, they've drawn weapons and they are about to attack. This is a little bit more of than your typical bar fight of just throwing fists. They at this point you could probably tell that this is getting a little out of hand, a little bit more so than you would probably expect. Oh, and
Okay.
and just so you're aware, shortly after the city guards left the bar, is when the fight broke out. That's why they started saying things along the lines of people get a little unruly, right? So that's what this is kind of what they were talking about.
Okay. I am going to draw my 2 battle axes and look at the one at the north here.
Mm-hmm.
And be basically saying, I don't know who you are. I don't know what you're doing. But I think you all need to calm down or I'm going to have to start swinging.
So they look at you and they say, one just looks and says, I'm not too sure who you think you are, Missy, but you're about to get a warm welcome to our fine city here, as you're about to find out. It's obviously not his turn yet, but they do look at you and basically say something along to the effect of, "You're next."
Okay. I'm going to go ahead and take a swing at this one to the north by Mordecai.
All right.
Let's see if I can do this right.
All right. Yeah, you can go ahead and move forward. Yep, there you go.
And then...
Ouch.
Open it up.
I'm
with a
assuming
crit.
that hits.
Yes, very first attack of the campaign, you have rolled a crit.
A natural 20 with my +4.
Yeah,
Yes.
go ahead and roll damage. I don't know specifically how you're going to roll critical damage, but yeah, it is going to be effectively it'll be a 2d8 plus your modifiers instead of.
Do
so
I?
yeah,
Because I can.
double
It,
dice.
it looks like I could do the whole advantage thing. Should I just go ahead and do that? Yeah.
So yeah, you
For
can
the
try-
damage?
Yeah, go ahead and do that on the damage. That should do it. All right. So yeah, you are attacking here. So yeah, Oh, okay, yeah, I see what's going on here. So I'm just going to go ahead and say you did, so that is equals 4 plus.
Oh, is it because I have the 2 battle axes?
No, see, that it rolled that way because that is a versatile weapon, and versatile weapons can be either wielded
Gotcha.
one or two-handed. So if you hover over them, you see that it roll is a 1d10 plus 2.
Plus gotcha.
Yeah.
Versus the D8. Gotcha,
Yeah, so just roll damage again, and we'll I just won't add the modifier in the second time to see what you get for the D8. All right, well, there you go. So with this one massive swing that you have taken on this character, that is a bit unruly. You do deal 11 damage to them. Let's see. So that is 6, 7, 8. Yeah, so you do 8 damage to him total, and they basically stagger backwards, and they are just not looking too pretty. They're barely standing at this point, but they are still alive.
At this point, I'm actually going to take a step back.
Okay. All right, and when you do that, he is going to take his reaction, and let's see here, and he is going to take a swing at you. However, he is going to miss. So he took an attack of opportunity against you. So even though he is looking rather ragged, he's still trying to come at you.
So since I took a step back. I probably can't reach from here. I am going. Can I throw my dagger at him?
Oh yeah, you absolutely can.
Okay. Can I though? Can I?
Well,
Probably not with an
you
8.
can, but it does miss. You were looking for a 12 to hit, but no, that does not hit.
Well.
So he sees you step back as he takes a swing at you, and you throw your dagger at him, and he bats it away, and he's just like, he's very confused, but at the same time, he's just like, okay. All right. So is there anything else that was your? So you still have what, like 3 or 4 points of movement if you would like to continue moving. Other than that, you can.
I'm just gonna stay there and grip my battle axe, and basically look at him. You're gonna have to back down before I start swinging again.
Okay. Well.
And that'll be my turn.
All right. Mordecai, is there anything you would like to do as this basically unruly patron was looking at you and now is probably a little bit more interested in the woman who just about took him out in one hit?
Well, seeing as he interrupted a polite conversation, I will level my hand at him, speak a word that nobody can understand, and cast Sacred Flame.
All right. Is that a...
It automatically hits. He just needs... I need to figure out actually how to do the thing here.
Yeah,
Hold on a second.
Is it a save?
Yeah, dexterity save where he takes 6 damage.
Let's see. All right. So he does save. So as you use your Sacred Flame, he basically is able to duck out of the way as this radiant flame sprouts from your hand, and he just looks at you. He's very shocked because he's like, whoa, getting into a fight with someone with magic too. My goodness, this is maybe a little bit more than I asked for. But anyway, anything else you would like to do?
No, just as kind of a flourish action. I'm just gonna remove my spear from its sling on my back, spread the wings, and just look as intimidating as possible while I ready up.
All right. Next up, it is Beans in the order of operations here. So there is a an unruly patron with his weapon drawn 10 feet away from you at this point. So, is there anything you would like to do?
Yes, this is exciting. So first thing I'm going to do, or attempt to do, is I'm going to slide out of my chair under the table. And, there's a lot of really tall, big people around here. So I just kind of slide down behind and try to disappear. So we're going to try that first.
Perfect. Assuming you're making a stealth check here.
I am.
Perfect.
We'll assume that the game will allow that to happen. Not great. But anyway, as I slip under the table, I also pull my hand crossbow and prepare it, holding my attack to see who's going to need it. But I am under the table regardless.
Okay. Sounds good. All right. You are under the table. And at this, so you're holding your action. Is there anything you're looking for specifically where you would like to act, or no?
So the goal here is, if anybody is injured or close to me at the end of the turn, then I will use my action to put a bolt in them.
All right. Perfect. Sounds good. So with that, it is the bandit's turn. So let's see here. All right. They are going to take a look at Mordecai here. And he's going to give you an eye, even though you were the last person who attacked him. So he's going to take a swing. And that is going to be a miss. All right, so.
Can I use a reaction, or is it only if he hits me?
It depends. What did you want to do?
As a reaction, I can use Wrath of the Storm.
Well, go ahead and link.
Nope,
what
sorry,
Wrath
I
of
just
the
read
Storm
I just read it. It says if he hits me with an attack.
Yeah. So if he had hit you, the answer would have been yes. Okay. Yeah. All right. So this guy, he missed. This one is going to approach, and he is going to take a swing on you, Raymond. Was there anything you would want to do now that since you were holding your action at this point?
As I see him walk to me, I will make a rapier attack at him as long when he gets into range.
Okay. Yeah. So he is now within range. So go ahead and make an attack.
$16.
That is definitely going to hit. All right.
And 4 piercing damage.
4 piercing. So that is going to be. Let's see if this will work. Yeah, sweet. That does work. Perfect. All right. So you stab him as he approaches you, and he gets very, very angry, and then he takes a swing at you at that point. Definitely gonna hit. So let's see if I can roll the damage here. Do. All right. I'm just gonna type it. Still trying to figure out this stuff. So it's gonna be +1. All right. Oof. So you take 6 damage from that attack. But that is his turn. All right, and this one steps up, takes a look at you, Therion, and doesn't really like the look of you. He thinks like, this guy, he thinks he's all big and bad. So he is going to take a swing on you. All right. And that is going to hit with a 19. Yeah, look at that rolling. 1d20 plus 3. 16 plus 3. Okay. Just trying to make sense of the rolls here. Perfect. And whoa, what was that? That's super weird. That is going to be roll 1d6 plus 1. All right. Once again, pretty decent damage. So that is going to be 6. And this one is also going to step up. However, he didn't like the look of what this large woman with the axes did. So he's actually going to take a swing on you there, Morgan. And let's see. That is going to be a scimitar attack. That is going to be a 12. That is a miss against you. So with that is their turn. So Therian, what would you like to do? There was a man that just slashed you in the back as you were sitting there trying to enjoy a drink.
Seriously, all hell's breaking loose here. I'm also just trying to kind of. This is the first time I've ever used the roll 20 and all this other stuff. So
Oh yeah, you and me both.
I'm a little behind, so I apologize.
I'm learning.
I think I've got it here. So I want to get away from that guy who's behind me, and I think that cat or whoever agrees with me.
Mm-hmm. Yes, Libby agrees.
Is it possible to jump over this table and get the guy to the north and go after him?
It is possible. You could stand up. Yeah, it would be no problem at all to get over there. The only thing is you would provoke an attack of opportunity from both of them if you moved into that space next to Mordecai.
Fuck that noise. Okay. All right. Well, I guess. Does it matter that I had my shield on my back when that guy attacked me?
Let's see. When he attacked you, the answer is no, because he rolled a 19. If it was a little bit lower, then it could have possibly mattered.
Fantastic. Well, then I guess I have no choice. So from underneath my cloak, I guess I pull out my sword and my shield because it's
So
time to
good.
get this on. This is what they came for. This is what they're gonna get. So we're rolling damage. We're going straight up attack. I'm right in this guy's face, dude. That was right on me here. So I guess now I gotta try to hit this roll deal. Hopefully this works. Boom. Did that do something? Yes, it did. What do we got? There we go.
There we go. Yeah, it definitely did. Let's see. You attacked that. Was it the guy to your right or slightly below you that hit you?
It is the one that hit me, so I guess it's the one below to the right.
Okay. So you did a very impressive 6 damage against him. He stumbles backwards as you smack him for quite a bit of damage, and he doesn't like the look of that, but hey, he smacked you too, so fair is fair.
Get what you come for.
All right, so with that attack, was there anything you would like to do? Anything else you would like to do at all? Perhaps any bonus action, anything along those lines?
Let's see. Trying to take a look here. Bonus action. I don't think that I have anything that applies. Experts will disagree, but I think that's gonna take care of it. I'm just gonna try to keep an eye on, I guess, what's also happening just behind me to the right. It's a melee, right? There's people everywhere. You're trying to keep general awareness of things, but it looks like I'm just gonna go toe to toe with this gentleman right here and call it good for the moment.
All right, sounds good. Before we move on to the top of the round, this is kind of your, I guess, your trigger there, Beans. Was there anyone that you would like to effectively pop off against? And let me see, did you roll your, your stealth? Okay, a 9. They still notice you, so you do not have advantage on your next attack. I don't know what my cat is doing, but whatever. But you can make an attack. It just won't be at advantage. You might be muted there.
I was, because the dog was barking earlier. I
Yeah.
apologize. I am going for the one that is south, the one that just took the hit from Therion, and we're going to send a bolt his direction.
Perfect.
Well, you can do it. Let's go.
All right. Yeah. With that, I'm pretty sure you're not going to be well, I mean, let's go ahead and roll damage, but the likelihood of him not keeling over at this point is very low.
And that.
All right, let's see.
Sent it, it says, but I don't see it appearing.
Oh, there it goes. All right. Wow.
I did not. It's not sneak attack though. That I don't know why it rolled it that way. It shouldn't have.
No. Let's see. Either way, I'm gonna just say I'm pretty sure you managed to do 5 damage. So that one has took a crossbow bolt to the gut, and he has keeled over. All right. So with that, at the top of the round, Raymond, it is your turn once again.
All right, I'm gonna use my action to disengage from the one who hit me.
Okay.
So take a 5-foot step.
All right. Perfect.
And I'm also going to use my second first level spell, and I'm going to cast Cure Wounds.
Okay.
And I'm full health again.
Perfect.
And for my bonus action, I'm going to use my Bardic Inspiration to give us some extra hit dice.
Okay. So who are you inspiring with your Bardic Inspiration?
Definitely the guy underneath the table that just shot the dude in the throat.
All right. So you have your so Beans, you have a Bardic Inspiration die, so you can add I believe a plus 1d6 to any attack or saving throw or anything along those lines. So anything that you would like to add your inspiration to, you can do that.
Awesome.
All right. So with that, I'm assuming that was your move, action, and all that good
Yep.
stuff. So Morgan, it is your turn.
Noticing that I did not get the first kill in, these guys are still attacking and get this evil smirk. And I'm going to take out both my battle axes and swing at the guy just behind me. I'm going to do like a little turn, like, and just swing at him type thing.
All right.
Like that, but more graceful and awesome.
Okay. More graceful.
Or not. That's fine. Or not. I rolled a 7, so
All right.
or I got 7. So then, do I roll again for the other battle axe?
Yes. Yeah. So this would be your bonus action for your offhand attack.
I never made that offhand.
It's fine. You don't.
Okay.
It's fine. Okay. So you very gracefully and awesomely swing, but this very unruly patron does this little sidestep, and you're like, "God, that was that was very graceful.
Yeah.
Perhaps a little too graceful."
When gaming matches real life, it's good. It's good.
Yes. All right. So with that, that was your action and bonus action. I'm assuming you don't want to
Yep.
move. Or are you
No,
good
because I
there?
want to kill things now, so I'm not moving.
All right. Perfect. All right. Mordecai, it is now your turn.
I'm gonna go ahead and take my spear in both hands and lunge forward and try to impale the guy in front of me.
Perfect. That sounds lovely. Okay, so you lunge forward, and it passes just underneath his armpit, basically, as he kind of sidesteps it because you're looking for a 12. Their AC is a 12, by the way. So
Gotcha.
that was a miss. All right, would you like to move, or are you good where you're at?
I'm gonna be good where I'm at.
All right, perfect. And Beans, it is your turn once again, now that you are high off of your first kill of the campaign.
Excited about that. It just happens sometimes when somebody has to defend themselves.
Yeah.
I am looking at the other gentleman over there that looks like he's bleeding, the one that's to the north.
Okay.
So I'm peeking past the feathers of the gentleman that is north of me and shooting up above there with a crossbow.
Perfect. All right, let's see here. As we wait for the
Two
round to
browsers
proceed.
open.
All right. Yep. And we're not even going to worry about damage because he's gone. We now have Beans, the crit machine, effectively.
Sharpshooter.
Yeah.
Just so I'm not taking advantage of you, that was actually it's throwing it as green, but that was a 1.
Okay, that's very odd. Yeah, let's see. Rolling a d2.
So still a 9, so it was like a 9 greater than less than 1 plus 5.
Oh, so it's like the. Okay. Well, either way, it's very odd. We'll just go ahead and.
Yeah, it shouldn't be a crit for whatever reason.
Yeah, that's.
It's just a 9.
Okay, yeah, it's a little weird what's going on there, because I'm seeing your also the plus 1d0c. Yeah, it's like if I hover over it, it's being a little weird with the numbering, so I can see why it's doing that. Okay, so for now, let's go ahead and jump to the bandits. All right, they're gonna go ahead and take a swing at you, Mordecai. Let's see. That is going to be a 15 to hit. Does that hit your AC? I don't remember.
It matches my AC.
All right, so that is a hit. All right, so I'm gonna put this into my clipboard so I don't have to type it out again. All right, here we go. All right, that is 4 damage that you take.
Okay. Now I'm gonna go ahead and use my reaction to use Wrath of the Storm.
Okay, perfect. All right, so they need to make a saving throw. Let's see if I click this, if this makes a... All right, so... 1d20.
It still takes half damage.
Okay, go ahead and roll damage. So that would be a 4, and that is still enough. So he is gone.
And I'm gonna choose lightning damage.
Yeah, okay. He is...
Just for theatrical effect.
Yes, as he thought he was doing just fine by dodging out of the way of this thing, but still, he is, shocked to death as he crumples to the floor, and he doesn't like that one bit. All right, so with that, the fact that you just effectively lightning bolted this guy to death, he's a little scared of you. That's the one that just stepped up, and he is going to try and put an end to that. Oof.
I'll do it again.
And I'm going to update this to 2d6 since that was a crit on you. All right, and that is 6 damage to you.
And that puts me at 0 hit points.
All right, so you are unconscious. All right, we're just going to... Yeah, there we go. Bam! You're unconscious. Yes, as you fall over, he says something along the lines of, "Silly bird, tricks are for kids." I don't know.
But I didn't hear a thing because I'm unconscious.
That's right. You didn't hear a thing. Everyone's like, "Tricks? What's going on?" He's like, "I'm not very good at my insults, but that was good for me. Good job, me. Yay." All right, so this one that is feeling a bit surrounded, he's getting a little panicky, but he hasn't been hit yet. So yeah, he is going to take a swing. All right, and that is going to be a 6 to hit, which is not going to hit nobody. So yeah, he did take a swing at you, Therion. However, that was a no. All right, so with that said, it is now your turn, Sir Therion.
All right, well, let's see. I think I had my back to him, so I will predicate it on the comment somebody else made about a flourish. Get out the flourish. Make a little turnaround, make the attack, make the counterattack. Not technically a counterattack, but it just looks like a counterattack. Because I really don't have much else to do at the moment. And, say something like, stop it. And I will roll.
Stop it, sir.
Get that business.
All right, that is going to hit, and you are swinging it one-handedly since you have a shield. So that is going to be 9 damage. He didn't like that one bit. That's. He takes the hit. He kind of wobbles backwards as you cut deep into his chest, and he's just like, "Well, that wasn't very nice." But he doesn't stop it yet. He doesn't.
Never interrupt my coffee break.
Agreed.
Yes. All right. So, with that hit, did you want to do any bonus actions or move? Now that there's only one enemy near you.
No, I'm gonna stay here just as a point of clarification. I don't think there's technically anything I can do with my shield at level 1 at this point. Again, I think people that know better than I would be able to weigh in, but I don't think I'm able to do anything that I want to do just yet. So
No, I think that comes at level 2 or 3 for the paladins. My guess is it's like you can use your reaction to impose disadvantage and things along those lines.
It's a shove mechanic.
Shield bash.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think at this point it's just for AC and show. So I think I'm good, feeling good that we took that attack, and now I'm looking at this large woman with 2 axes behind this guy and looking at me, and I just kind of give the head nod like it's time to mess this guy's house up.
All right. Perfect. So with that, top of the round again, Raymond, you are up.
I will move into melee. Going in with the rapier again.
All right. Let's see what happened there. You rolled twice, but anyway, we're gonna say that was a miss. Since your first roll, since the first one was a 6. So he looks at you as you step up, and he's like, "Well, that's not very nice. I was just attacking the bird while you attacking me." All right. All right. Anything else that you would like to do, or are you good for now?
I'm good for now.
All right. Which, I mean, this is the nice thing about level 1. Combat's usually pretty quick. All right. Morgan, you are up. There is a very hurt dude right in front of you.
Yes, I'm done screwing around, and I'm gonna take him out.
Well, let's see if you're done screwing around or if the dice are going to be mean to you. Dice are going to be mean to you. All right. Would you like
This
to take
is why I have 3 sets of dice at home, and I put them away. So I'm gonna swing with the other battle axe and not roll a
offhand.
6
There
this
you go.
time.
There you go.
Yeah.
Much better.
And
That was a 20.
knowing your bonus,
natural.
that is impossible for you to not take him out. So we'll just go ahead and leave that as is. And you swing mightily with your battle axe, and well, basically you take him out. And he's not having a good day after a sword to the chest, then an axe to the chest. Basically, they picked the wrong table to mess up. They probably should have joined in on the unruliness that's happening at the other tables where they're not actually attacking people that are trained in combat. All right. Okay, so let's see. Did you want to move now that you no longer have an enemy?
I'm going to. How many? What is the length of each square?
5 feet. So yeah, each square is 5 feet, so you can move, I believe, 6 of them. If you're a human, you typically have 30 feet of movement.
I'm gonna notice the dead bird, who seemed like he was nice. I'm gonna head on over. All right. Is that too far? Is that good?
Oh no, that's totally within
Okay.
range. So yeah, 1.
And I'm gonna
2,
start
3.
menacingly glaring at this guy, and that's my turn.
All right, you're actually menacing quite. You're glaring at him quite menacingly. He doesn't like the look of this, and he's now surrounded quite a bit. And now he's like, I don't like the look of this. This sucks. All right, with that, Mordecai, give me a death saving throw. All right, as 1 success. Sounds good. Perfect. And Beans. What would you like to do with this one final enemy right here, where you could practically jump out from underneath the table and stab him?
Practically, but because he decided to get within 5 feet, it just means that I'm just going to kind of like stick that hand crossbow right up there and pull the trigger.
All right, let's see what happens with the wacky rolling of. Let's see if it works this time.
Waiting. Okay, there's no way that I could roll 3 9s in a row.
Yeah, I would just type that one in
Formula's
manually.
wrong, too.
Yeah, just go ahead and let's, slash roll 1d20 or something. See what you get, and you can add your bonuses to it. Okay,
What?
so
Maybe that's just the way it's going to be today.
yeah, so I typically don't play with like critical failures, right? Where like your crossbow string would snap or something along those lines. But I do like the idea of as you're holding out your crossbow underneath the table, you pull the trigger and like nothing actually happens. You're just like, huh. Yeah, it's not jammed. You're just like, okay, that should have worked. Okay, moving on. All right, did you want to move or use a bonus action?
No, I'm just under there looking at my crossbow like, what the heck is wrong with this thing?
Okay. All right. So, with this bandit is going to look around. And he's a little terrified. He doesn't really know what's going to happen. But with this, he's going to turn his attention to the very scary lady with the axes, and he's going to see if he can, maybe do something about that. But I believe that is a no. No.
That is a no.
Yeah.
15 does not hit.
No, it does not. So he takes one swing at you, and your glaring apparently got to him. He's like, please, ma'am. Show mercy. But with that, Therian, it is your turn. There is now currently only one enemy, and you could easily walk over to him, or you could do something else. It's up to you.
Beans, you're under the table, right?
Right.
Right. So from across the table, pull out a javelin from behind my back, throw it across the table, say, stick around.
That's awesome.
So I mean, it doesn't stick him, but it's like I feel like so as you throw it, it like gets him underneath, just right here. Doesn't actually hurt him. Just like it just sticks to the claw, and he's just like, okay,
Okay. Okay.
I'll stick around. All right.
Let's see. I can still move, right?
Oh yeah, you can move.
All right, I'm gonna.
Yeah, you
let's
can.
see.
You can always use your movement, even if you've already attacked. You can move, attack, move again. Your movement can be used in any order.
I'm gonna go and stand right next to Morgan.
All right. All right. With this here bandit is not liking the look of things. So, with that, I'm assuming you're down there. You don't have any bonus actions you would like to use. Not even sure you have any yet at level 1. So, all right. With that, let's go ahead and jump into Raymond. It is your turn.
Sure, I'll attack the guy that has his back to me.
Yep.
And apparently miss.
Yeah. So yeah, he does have his back to you. He is very much surrounded, but somehow he ducks out of the way or it strikes his armor, and he's just like, no, this is not going well. All right, scary lady. Unless you have a bonus action you would like to do. No. All right. So, Allie, aka Morgan.
Get in the battle axes.
All right. Oh, that hits. That hits. 14. You're
Alright, let me
yeah.
do it. Nope, that's the wrong button.
He's only got
There
it.
we go.
All right. So let's see. So you rolled a 1 plus 2. So he takes 3 damage. So minus 3. All right. He's still standing.
And I'm going for the other battle axe.
All right. Nope. Offhand misses. All right. All right.
I'm gonna sigh and just continue to glare.
Okay. Continuing to glare. He still did some damage, but not a ton. All right. Mordecai, another death saving throw, please.
I'll continue to bleed on the floor.
Yes. All right. Well, one more of those, and you will no longer be bleeding. You will be stable. All right. All right. Next up, Beans. Let's see what you can do here.
We're gonna find out. I know what I tried to do. You can do it. You can do it. No way.
I think there's something wrong with
Yeah,
your,
I would just manually do it.
Yeah, I would go ahead and I don't know.
Unless
Maybe
Beans just really likes 9s.
reset your restart your refresh the page or something. See if that.
Yeah, if you hover over it, the formula it's using is wrong.
Yeah,
Yep,
the
so-
formula is super wacky.
Well, I don't know why. Well, actually, I could see why this one would be a crit, though, or it would think that it was a crit because it's the actual. This is a sneak attack because he's within 5 feet.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's the formula on that one is still very wacky when I hovered over it. Yeah, so just go ahead and roll a d20 for me. Let's see if you hit. So yeah, just type it in manually again.
Whoa! My roll 20 crashed. 1 second.
All right.
Gotta get back to.
Perfect. All right.
Launch game.
Man, with streaming
All right.
D&D, I almost need 3 monitors now.
I think just playing. I've got you guys on this one all big, and then I've got
Nope.
the other 2 windows over here. I'm like,
That would be an 18
Yeah.
with the +5.
Yeah, so that is absolutely a hit. So, let's see if you can do 4 damage. I'm assuming since you have get sneak attack. It would,
I don't think I can do less.
I think
can
it's
do-
impossible for you not to take this guy out.
Let's see. I'm gonna try this again.
Yeah, let's see what it does to damage. I'm curious. Oh, see, the damage looks fine. Yeah, all the formulas are right. Yeah, so you... look at that. It looks like you did...
13.
Yeah, there you go. Total of... What is that? Rapier... Oh, that's if you were to do critical. Yeah, so it's... Yeah, there it is. Yeah, total critical damage, total damage. So you did 8 damage. So, yeah. He is down for the count. I see what was going on there. All right. So with that, is there anything anyone would like to do to help out our fine feathered friend? Because even though there are still no enemies, you do have one person who is still not stable yet. So we're still in turn order. So there are no bandits left.
I can help him.
Yeah, let's say next up would be Therion. So is there anything you would like to do?
Yeah, I believe I have ye old lay on hands here.
Yes.
So I'll reach down and say, "Rise, my bird brother."
Okay, so
Give
how many
him,
points of healing would you like to give him?
Well, we'll give him. I've got a total of 5. I'll
Mhm.
keep a couple for myself, so let's give him 3.
All right, so there you go.
Please get him up off the ground.
All right, Mordecai, you now have 3 hit points. You are absolutely stable.
I appreciate it.
All right.
However, I'm gonna get up off the floor. I'm swearing in Era Cochran and Arin about stupid ground dwellers and and cursing my god because I don't know why he would send me here just to get my ass kicked.
So it's a good lesson for us, I suppose. I don't know. Your gad ain't talking at the moment. All right. So with that, there is still a bit of a bar fight going on around you, but it is slowly dying down. No one else is paying attention to you now that there are 4 dead bandits kind of laying on the ground. We'll say that, well, there's definitely 2 of them that are dead. You technically could have done non-lethal damage with any of the melee attacks, but no one said that. I don't think it really matters. So
They came at me with intent to kill.
yeah, they sure did. But right around that same time, as the rest of the bar fight is starting to slow down, the city guards that work for Lord Saxton return, and they look around and they see, for the most part, just a couple. Nothing too bad, but it seemed like the majority of the bad actors were attacking your table, and they see 4 dead bodies laying around, and they walk up to you and they say, "Could you please explain what happened here before we take you to the prison?"
Sure. I can tell you everything. So there's guys, and we were drinking our coffee, and they came up, and then they started fighting each other, and then they fell down.
Okay.
I show them my identification, showing that I'm with Lord Saxton, and say that we were assaulted, we defended ourselves, and as you can see, justice was served.
Okay. At this point, they take a look at your identification. They see, number one, that you are a member of a bard, which well respected person in the community, as well as you work for, at least currently, Lord Saxton, and they nod and they're like, okay. And they look around, they see the wounds on a couple of you. They obviously they see the bloodied bird man, and they're like, oh yeah, that's bound to happen in these parts. And they're like, all right, very well. They do believe you, and they say, if you don't mind, I think someone would like to talk to not just you, Raymond, I believe, but would you all mind if you are my watch supervisor would like to have a word with you just to see. We've been having some recent reports of some troubles, and he would like to see if someone with your, shall we say, skills may be of use. for the most part, Lord Saxton, as you well aware, he is only interested in keeping watch and protecting anything that is his property, and anything outside of that is, as he puts it, not his concern. So we've been looking for volunteers to help. Would anyone be interested in something along those lines?
Sure.
Well, I don't see why not. I still have no idea why I'm even in this city.
All right.
If you'd give us a moment to discuss this moment further, we kind of just met each other, and it would make a little bit more sense if we actually knew each other's names.
Oh, see, I apologies. Take all the time you want. I'm merely looking for some help. So yes, take all the time. We'll be in the back. We've got a. I guess we'll have to clean this up while you guys are discussing. So please go ahead.
Thank you.
I think they would have believed my story, Raymond.
It's okay. I go down and I cut the money pouch off the guy that tied in front of me and hand it to Beans.
I don't know that this pouch would work for coffee, but okay. I look in it anyway.
Yeah, it's a meager amount of coin, enough for a few ale. Nothing substantial. So if you would like to keep track of copper, go right ahead. But normally most players don't. Okay, so there we go. So just say you were attacked by some very unruly patrons, which is obviously a little common, sadly, in this part of town. But and as you kind of heard from the City Watch, that not a lot of care is given to this side of town, just because, as they mentioned, Lord Saxton is, if he doesn't own it, he doesn't care. So there we go. Go ahead and please continue and go ahead and discuss.
Does Raymond look anything like your portrait down here?
I actually look like a nondescript accountant.
Yeah. Very basic looking, just your average everyday accountant.
We had no problem sticking somebody with a rapier.
That's normal for accountant, right?
I suppose the tax collector gentleman over here has the right of it. We should probably introduce ourselves.
Beans. Everybody just calls me Beans. It's easier.
After the coffee, right?
Or kava, or things like that. But yes.
All right, well, pleasure to meet y'all. I'm Mordecai.
I'm Raymond, obviously, and I still haven't got that cup of coffee yet.
I can finish it up for you. I'm making coffee on the table because we still have the hot water there.
Yeah, that was only like about a 30-second fight if you're going to go based on the rules.
Yeah, I'm Raymond. I still have a job for the moment.
I slide you the coffee cup.
What do you do? I'm Morgan, by the way. Hi. What do you do for this Saxton guy? Because I'm looking to learn how other areas run their towns, and right now I'm not too impressed.
Well, I basically tax the crap out of the rich to pay off the poor's debts and skim a little bit off the top, if I'm honest. I take a drink of the coffee. I take a drink of the coffee and it's a little too hot, so I use prestidigitation to make it cold brew.
Yeah, I think I go back, grab my coffee. It's now cold, and it just makes my heart.
30 seconds. It's not cold yet. You're
It's,
good.
is that one of the bonuses of your fine coffee, is that it's like stays forever hot?
Oh no! So just so you know, the rules of combat is that each round is 6 seconds. So that wasn't very long of a combat. These guys.
Fantastic.
So yeah, your coffee's
Oh,
it doesn't
then
cool off in 30 seconds. We'll say
Good.
45. maybe a
that's a
minute after the
nice,
the
hot,
g-
refreshing sip of that, and introduce my character. Therian, former soldier and prisoner of our Lord, and Raymond, I'm very excited to meet you.
when you say the word prisoner, one of the city guards goes,
He's fine. He's fine. He's reformed. Persuasion.
yes,
yeah, he just
paid my
whatever.
dues. Paid
I
my
don't
debt to
recognize him. There's
society.
no wanted poster up.
21 for persuasion.
Yeah, they're just like, he's good.
Yeah, I'm seeking an audience with our great lord. So hopefully your connections will help me get down that path. But I'm happy to work these adventures between now and then with you folks, because we seem to be able to throw down just fine.
All right. Okay.
So, all right. I think we're gonna take the job then, huh?
Might as well. I mean, what's in it for us? Did they say?
Not yet. No,
We
they
could use a few more connections in
Yeah.
this town.
at
Yeah,
most they said
I
that,
also want to.
yeah, they just said that their boss wants to talk to you. They didn't give any specifics.
I'm up for meeting more people. Let's go.
I wave at the guy, snap my fingers a couple times, try to get his attention.
Like the fact that you've snapped more than once, they're like, okay, geez, I'm coming. I'm cleaning up your dead bodies right now. Like, oh, geez. So they walk over. One of them is like, so I heard a little bit of what you were saying. I'm assuming you were, at the very least, interested in hearing what my boss has to say. Is that correct?
I think
We'll
we are.
hear your lord.
All right. So, all right. With that said, they finish cleaning up. They, the bring out your dead cart comes rolling by, and they they toss it onto the side, and then, all right, they have finished up, and they're like, all right, well, let's go ahead and see what my boss has to say. Like we said, we've been looking for some fine individuals like yourself that may be able to help. So let's, So they do escort you through the town. At this point of the day, it is dusk, and the biggest part of the celebration is actually just starting to get going. This is the celebration kicks off during the evening, because there's a large wicker man that they usually burn as kind of a. For those of you who are aware, they're basically burning the wicker man as a way of basically saying, screw you, winter. We're looking forward to spring on its way out. So that is the what's going on there. Anyway, as you see the fun feasting as they're walking through the streets, Morgan, you probably are looking around going like, okay, city, civilized. This isn't exactly what I was thinking, but all right. You're probably thinking a lot more. But one of the other things that you do notice is, as you're walking through the streets, is this part of town. This is what you would know as the lower city. So you're not in the catacombs. You're just in effectively the lower ring. So the city is built out in 3 layers. There is the upper ring, the lower ring, and then the lower undercity, basically. And as you were walking through the city, they're actually leading you up to one of the towards the upper ring, where basically the city watch's guard posts are mostly held. They don't really have much of a presence in the lower city. They only basically go out on patrols into that area. They don't actually have any, effectively, what they would call police stations, if you will, in the city. They have a tendency of being burnt down. It's it happens from time to time, so they figured we actually will just do that. Anyway, so as they actually lead you past, basically you would consider it to be a checkpoint, right? Because for the most part, most citizens actually aren't allowed into this part of the city. It's one of the things that you probably take notice of, or Morgan especially, since you're kind of watching what's going on here, and you're like, this is very interesting. that some citizens are allowed in one part. Some it's it probably seems very odd to you, and well, probably to most of you, especially coming from the Midlands where it's pretty much free reign. So they do lead you into the one of the main Saxton's city watch, basically guardhouses. And there's a man sitting behind a table, kind of filling out some paperwork. And he looks up as you come in, and he sees you with the other people, and he's like, what are these? I mean, are these to be arrested? What's going on here, sir? And he looks the guy that led you through the door. He's like, oh, sir, you let us know that you were interested in finding people for that job that you were talking about. He's like, oh, yes. And he looks around, and he looks at you, and he's not really sure who would be who to talk to. But he's like, okay, very well. I see that Thomas here has led you to here, and I'm assuming he saw that you're very capable people. I'm assuming, and the guard, as he referred to as Thomas, is like, yeah. They're like, okay, that's pretty good. He's like, well, it is true. We do have a little bit of a job for you. If you are, I'm assuming you're interested, or why would you come here? Okay. So, one of the things that you may have known and have heard is that there is a lot of lawlessness as the further and further you get away from the center of the city. And as you just noticed, and I'm assuming because Thomas is filling him in on a couple of the details of what happened, there was the bar fight and this and that. And he's like, okay, just so you know, it's very difficult for us to keep watch with the amount of supplies and the amount of funding that we receive from our gracious Lord Saxton. He doesn't really. He, for the most part, just wants to keep his inner circle safe, and then the further out you get, he doesn't care. And as you can kind of catch by his tone that he is probably one of those, like, I'll just say it. He's like a middle manager kind of guy working for the government, pretty jaded, not, he's just fine in terms of how much he makes a living, but when he thinks about everything that goes on in the city, he's like, this is kind of crap. And all that. I
feel so attacked right now.
Yeah, so like I said, bit of a middle manager kind of person, and basically throwing shade towards his boss is basically what's happening right now. Saying that it'd be nice if we could actually have some increased funding, but now we're basically having to look for the adventurous type like yourself to deal with. So this.
Basically, we're being conscripted.
Yes, yeah, that's precisely what's happening. So. We do have a couple of reports coming in from the outside of town, and this is something Lord Saxon is very interested in. So it's one of the reasons why we were granted funding to do this kind of thing. So right up front, let's get to the important thing. You will be granted 500 gold, and just so you know, you will be given 500 gold just for accepting the mission. And if we get reports back that you have dealt with the problem and you return, you'll receive another 500 gold upon completion. And it's rather simple of a job. There are some reports of one of Lord Saxon's mines being out of commission, right? So he wants to make sure that revenue continues to flow. And right now, nothing is going in, going out. We're not really sure what's happening. But the only thing that we can tell you is where it's located. And it is your job, should you accept it, to go ahead and, put an end to whatever is stopping the locals from getting their goods out to market.
Seems like quite a lucrative job for something so simple. I'd imagine that there's a catch.
If there's a catch, I do not know what the catch is, because I've been simply told to find some individuals that are willing to do the job, and I have, access to the funds to disperse. But if there is a catch, it is, I'll put it, I am not high enough on the pay grade to know what that catch may be.
Is there any way I could roll an insight check to see if he's...
You absolutely can roll
trust
an
him?
insight check. Yes. Okay. So, based on your insight check, you're not getting any weird vibes from him at all. You are 100% thinking he is on the level and he is telling the truth.
He's telling us what he knows.
He is telling you everything that he knows. Right. He is. I wouldn't say he's being an open book, but he is being rather forthcoming.
Ask a really important question.
Absolutely.
Do we get a shiny badge?
He looks over at Thomas. He's like, "Do we have any like for the kids when they come in? We off." And he's like, Thomas looks around and he's like, "Yeah, I think we have some in the back for the field trips, right?" And he goes back and it's he goes and grabs a couple. They're not super shiny. They're effectively whatever the fantasy medieval version of the little like sheriff stickers that you would get when you're visiting the police station on a field trip, and it's like, will this do? This is the best we can offer.
It's great, thanks.
So yeah, they put the box down of like effectively the City Watch swag that they pulled from the back closet. You're free to take one or not. It's up to you.
What kind of a mine is this?
It is primarily iron that they mine in this region.
And who is this owned by?
Lord Saxton. It is owned by Lord Saxton.
So is this 500 gold each?
No, it would be 500 gold for the job.
Being from the Midlands, I hear tales of just how rich the Saxton guy is, and I feel...
You have no idea.
So why... What is the issue going on here? Why does he not give you guys your resources? Why are you need to seek random people out to help with the jobs that should be done by his employees?
So with that, he thinks a little bit, and he basically says, Lord Saxton often finds it to be far easier to hire independent contractors than to bring on additional staff that sometimes require housing, lodging, and let's say sometimes, and he's trying to be as careful and cautious as he can when saying this, but basically he's like, this is cheaper, much cheaper than hiring on additional staff.
Are there any workers at the mines?
There are definitely people that live there. There is an entire... It's actually based out of a town called Brant. So it is one of the smaller villages in the outskirts of Istwild. So, yeah, there are plenty of people that live there, and they haven't heard from them in quite some time. But yes, the mine is basically, you can think of it as like a company town almost, where the entire town is based around the mine.
So they weren't necessarily hired by Lord Saxton. They were also conscripted, so to speak.
Yeah, so he again, he wants to basically use his words cautiously, and he says the village was legally acquired by Lord Saxton some 15 years ago, and they all receive compensation for their time and effort in extracting the iron from the mine. But for the most part, it's yes, they live in the town, and they receive a modest amount of and he's stumbling over his words a little bit, trying to say it. Basically, what you can ascertain from this man's stumbling is they all receive an income, but they don't necessarily get any profits from what they would normally get if they owned the mine. It's just they have since they don't own the mine, Lord Saxton owns the mine. He earns all the profits from the iron, and whatever their income is, whether they just get their income to live off of.
Very good. Thank you. I'm in.
Okay.
So I get this feeling that maybe you don't like Saxton. And I'm sorry, I didn't get your name. What is your name?
My name is Reginald.
Reginald. Hi, Reginald. I'm Morgan. Do you not like Saxton? Do you enjoy working for Saxton?
No, he's fine. He's okay. Yeah, he's choosing his words carefully, especially considering. I mean, he is. You would see he is the highest ranking officer in this building, but at the same time, he knows walls have ears, and he doesn't want any words that may be a little too, not interested to get out. So, based on that question, actually, everyone go ahead and make an insight check based on what he's about to say.
Ooh.
I'm good at insight.
Insight.
I'm not good at rolling, though.
Oh,
I rolled a 20, so I know so many things, guys. So many things.
Yeah, so based on this, Raymond and also basically everyone but Beans and Mordecai, you get the feeling that he is being not entirely forthcoming with his answers. He's basically saying that he's fine, and you're like, oh yeah, you're saying he's fine, right? Right.
I get it.
Yeah. He's not exactly, he doesn't love his boss, but it's his boss, right? So, yeah, he's
Basically, if you talk bad about your boss where they can hear you, you'll get fired.
pretty much. Yeah. Yeah, and even with a bad insight, you're like, I get it. Yeah, it's not too hard to tell, but, a couple of the City Watch probably look at him and they're just like, he's fine. They probably all agree. Okay. So with that, is there any other questions that you have, or do we?
Yeah, Reginald, is there any way we can conscript some transportation to help us make this go by quicker?
So I can point you in the direction of the local stables. They do have some horses for rent or for purchase. I do, based on the amount of money you're going to receive, I would probably suggest renting if you were more interested in that. Don't believe a 500 would get all 5 of you the transportation that you would need, but it is not. I am not currently at liberty to provide anything additional from the 500 gold.
Okay. Who do you report to by any chance? Just curiosity in this city.
I currently report to. Let me go ahead and see if I can pull up the name. I had it somewhere. Yeah, let me go ahead and get his actual name, because it's a real person. It's not someone that I just made up. Yeah, let me get this real quick. I think it's in this one that I threw it in here. Yeah. So basically, for the time being, I will just say that. Oh wait, no, I think I found it. Yeah, here we go. So, he says that he reports to a Sir Rorik Daniels. He is the defense minister for Lord Saxton. Basically, there's probably a few people in between him, but that is who he says that his boss is.
Just curious, where could we find his estate if we needed additional funds? Because I'm sure he would be the one to authorize any additional.
He says, actually, kind sir, and he looks at you and he's like, you're the tax collector, right? He's
Correct.
Like, yeah, he's like, as a matter of fact, the person that you would want to talk to if you were to attempt to acquire more funds would actually be Samuel Renfield. He is the master of coin, and you actually recognize that name. That is the person that you, for the most part, deliver your tax revenue to. Not him directly, but it's his office, basically, that you would be dropping it off to. So yeah, Samuel Renfield. He is the master of coin for Lord Saxton.
Excellent. Thank you very much.
All right. So, do we have an agreement? Shall I have Thomas here dispense the 500 gold, or did you want to spend some time thinking about it?
Well, I'm good for it if you all are.
Good to go.
These people sound like they need our help.
My badge, I'm
do
good.
He just kind of looks and just goes, halflings. Yes. All right. So, with that, Thomas, the city guard originally that led you here, he goes into the back. He pulls out a rather large kind of box that is marked with it actually says mine job on it. It just kind of scrawled across the top. And they set it on the desk, and they say, there you go. do what you wish with it. Lord Saxton has found that jobs usually go a little bit better if you actually pay up front. So whoever is keeping track of money, you can now mark off that you have 500 gold to do what you wish with.
Split between us, though, right?
I mean, it depends on how you guys want to do it. You can
Such trust.
You can have the tax collector, who is also supposedly an accountant, keep track of all the money. I'm just, talking, party structure. I mean, usually there's one person that's keeping track of the money, and you just split it up.
I hold up a talon for a moment and say, I gotta ask, fellas, is 500 gold a lot? I'm still not exactly, good with the whole monetary system that you all use here.
Is this typical to out of game? Is this typical to like regular fantasy settings?
Yes, it is pretty typical. 500 is it's a pretty sizable chunk of money. For example, this would acquire you 10 healing potions if you wanted to do something along those lines. But yeah, it's a pretty big chunk of money, especially for level 1. Yeah,
We can get a lot of coffee with it.
Oh yeah.
This is basically what one of these miners is going to make in a year, in 500 years.
I still don't know if that's a lot or not. You see, where I come from, we kind of use a whole system of if you need it, you take it. And if somebody needs something that you have, they just take what you have. Because it's kind of, if you need it, you take it.
Sounds like Bean's lifestyle.
That sounds like the chaos we get in the Midlands.
Which
I'm-
is
I'm
why
trying-
from the Midlands.
I'm trying to blend in. It was kind of hard, but I forgot to pay for that drink when we were at the bar, and I'm pretty sure I'm gonna get in trouble for that if we go back.
It's fine. It's fine. They forgot about it.
Dean shot a guy in the neck. I think we're all right about it. Forgot. It's okay.
I say we split the money because I'm not going to be your bank.
Yeah, I'll take my piece of the 500 now. Thanks.
So 100 each.
Yep. 100 each. So yeah, this is as you know, the person explains that even as the middle manager, the basically the guard captain, he basically explains to you is that the 500 gold is about as much as I make in a year, so it's a lot of money. So yeah, he definitely lives comfortably, but it's a sizable chunk of money that maybe not you, but everyone else probably gets the idea that Lord Saxon's got a lot of cash to burn, and if he wants something done, he's willing to just throw money at it to make the problem go away. So there you go. Okay, anything you would like to do before he shows you where the mine is, if there's anywhere you would like to do?
I think we're good.
Not I.
Yeah.
Okay, so he basically passes slides a map across the table, circles a little area, a little check mark. He says, "This is the town of Brant." I believe that's what I said.
Yes, it is.
That is what you said.
Okay. And he said, please get there as soon as possible. And just know, and before you make your way out of here, if you just skip out of town, if you do just leave, and don't even attempt to make an attempt to solve this problem, just know that we will know who you are, and people will come after you, because he's basically saying, don't just take the money and run. he kind of likes you guys. He just doesn't want to have to report up to his boss that five locals took the money and ran, and well, here's their description. There was a giant bird person with them, so they'll stand out. But anyway, that he just wanted to give that one little warning before you part ways. Wouldn't be a good idea is basically all he is saying. And then he's like, oh, I hope to hear of your success quite soon. So have a wonderful day, I suppose. Enjoy the
I thought
celebration.
it was dark.
See you
Can we
when
go to the
get-
party?
What was that you were saying, Tharion?
Just say we'll see you when we get back.
All right. He's like, okay. But yes, it is now probably getting pretty dark. It does get dark early in the kind of a winter time as it currently is. So you could partake in the celebration that's going on right now, or you could start, you could do whatever you want. And then the other fun and interesting thing is you still are currently in the upper ring of the city, where most of you normally wouldn't be allowed. Although, Raymond, they'd let you in, because that's usually where you drop your money off.
Can we tell from the
Don't think-
map how far a journey this is to the mine, to the city?
So on foot, if you did not acquire any horses or anything like that, it would be probably about an 8-hour journey. It's not that far out of town, but it's probably 26-ish miles, right? It's just a small town. You can almost think of it like in modern days, it's kind of like a suburb, but in fantasy time, it's way off in the boonies of the where they mine for iron, and yeah, it's about 25 to 30 miles away. So yeah, it would take you about
Maybe some farmland in between it and the main city.
not a ton of farmland in this region, but yeah, you would definitely come across some.
the reason that I asked is 'cause
Undeveloped areas.
we have a gentleman here that I plucked a couple feathers back in, but he's still pretty low on juice, and I know I took a pretty good hack myself. So
I would
you'll
definitely
definitely
appreciate a night to rest.
Yeah, I'm assuming you will all take a long rest before you start the journey.
Okay.
Is my guess.
Okay.
Yeah,
Didn't want any of those issues.
I'd rather not travel at night anyways, so that works.
We should probably set out in the morning.
Yeah,
I agree.
they make the assumption that you would head out in the morning. Yeah.
Very good. Thank you.
Yeah, they're not thinking that you would have to leave now. In fact, it is getting a little late. So yeah. Yeah. Oh yeah, there we go. Sweet. Look at that. All right. So, anything else that you would like to do before you start making your journey, and just assume that you'll, is there anything you would like to do before you go to sleep tonight?
I want to go check out that party.
All right. Anyone
I like
else?
parties.
Two parties.
Apparently Bean's going too.
Seeing as I'm trying to stuff my my gizzards back into my body, I'm probably just gonna go back to my my inn room and go to sleep.
Mm-hmm. Sounds good.
Are any of the shops still open?
Yeah, they would still be open. It's basically like it is right now, literally like here in California, where it gets dark very early, because it is during the wintertime, but the shops are still open. It would basically be about 5 p.m. So you would be traveling at night, but it is still very early.
Okay. Is the bookstore open?
Yes, it is.
I'm gonna go peruse the bookstore.
Okay.
I'll head out with Morgan and Beans. I'll tag along.
Okay, so we have 3 people attending the large celebration in the town. So we'll quickly go with that and say as you walk out of the guard shop in the larger kind of I'm thinking the upper part of the city within the inner ring. Not a lot of the big celebration going on. Majority of the celebration is going on in the lower city, where for the most part, where all that's happening. So, did you want to go back into the lower part of the city and join in with the celebration there, or kind of look at the very boring kind of like kind of celebration that's happening with the rich folk?
I'm happy to head down.
All right.
Yeah, those are my kind of people anyways, so I'll go down there.
All right, perfect. So as you make your way through the kind of the city streets, there's just a whole bunch of people that are celebrating and just drinking openly in the streets. It is, like I said, it's very raucous. It's probably one of the reasons why you got attacked in the middle of a bar, is because this time of year, this brings out some of the most savory / unsavory folks that you just, so everyone is here to have a good time, but not everyone has the same definition of a good time, basically. Anyway, so everyone out in the streets, nothing actually seems to be happening in terms of any kind of issues going on. They actually have a large wicker man that is currently burning, so the street is very well lit. So it's one of the other reasons why no shady business is actually happening, is because you can see very well right now. No dark alleys or anything like that. And in fact, in the city center, there are just tables upon tables of just normally where this is where people would be, walking up and down the streets. They have actually set up all sorts of tables just literally in the middle of the streets, completely filling it up with basically large feasts and providing free food and free drink to just about anyone that wants to partake. So it is a massive celebration that is free to join in on. So what do you do? Do you take a seat at the table? Do you talk to people? What are you interested in?
Ask if there's a place where they might know that they have spices and coffees and things like that.
All right. So one person, he kind of looks down and sees, a small halfling. There's a small gathering of halflings as well, during the party. And he's like, oh, spices? Suppose you could talk to one of the cooks and see, what they are putting in the stew. And when he points to the stew, you see this very large cauldron where, like, everyone are just, like, bringing, and when I say large, I mean, like, this massive cauldron where they're just cooking this ginormous stew that is pretty much to feed the entire town. Like I said, providing free food for just about everyone. So there is a kitchen off to the left where you see this, like, almost like an assembly line of people bringing, like, potatoes and carrots and all sorts of other items just in and out, where they're just keep stirring it and cooking, and now it's shortly they'll actually be dishing it up because it's just about ready. So yeah, you could go talk to the cook, but that's about it.
Sure, I'll go over to the kitchen and ask them.
All right, so you kind of follow the line of people, and you see this cook who is very feverishly, just like almost like a massive cleaver that is just, like, chopping vegetables, like, as fast as he possibly can. There's actually, like, 7 or 8 cooks doing the exact same thing, and you see them just kind of, like, taking the different vegetables out to the center of the square, and yeah, as you probably, I'm assuming, pipe in and talk about spices or something like that. One looks up and says, yeah, it's right over there, and he points to this large box with several clay jars, labeled with different various spices, and he's assuming that you're there to just take it out to the stew to dump it in. So, yeah, he points to a large box of different spices. It's like, it is pretty standard, salt, cracked pepper, things along those lines.
You have any cinnamon?
No, there's no one's putting cinnamon in the stew. That'd be weird.
But it's all their spices.
Yeah, he doesn't. He just kind of goes back to what you're doing, and he just assumed that that's the only thing. Probably the only like unique spice that you see is there is a smaller, like a very smaller vial of turmeric, and it's like turmeric. So yeah, that is the only, like, unique spice that you see on this one. In this box.
All right. Not impressed.
All right. Morgan, Tharian, Fabris. Keep messing it up. Is there anything you want to do at the party?
I'm going to grab a drink.
Okay, it's free. The ale is
Which
flowing.
is why I'm definitely grabbing a drink for now. More later. And patiently waiting for the stew. Meanwhile, I'm going to reach out to... Are there any city guard nearby?
There's a couple mingling. There's not a lot, but there are a few. You see 3 or 4 off into the distance, just kind of like manning their posts, just standing there watching. Nothing out of the ordinary. You also see off in the distance a few more city guards that are dressed differently. As you see, like I mentioned, there are multiple guards in the area, not just the Saxton city guards. There are a few other houses that employ their own, guards and watchmen that are also stationed around different buildings. For the most part, they're just standing near buildings, making sure nothing happens to them.
Do I notice, out of the ones that are closest to the party, is there anyone that seems like they're a little more friendly?
Go ahead and make a perception check.
Perception. I perceive so many things. So many.
You do
With
perceive
16.
You do perceive so many things. Yeah, so you actually do notice one of the Saxton city guards is basically flirting with a a couple young ladies, nothing too out of the ordinary. And then another one stationed not too far from him is kind of like watching and giving a side eye. But he is kind of chatting with a few of the locals. You see in this one particular area where they're actually guarding, which is basically the local butcher's office. It's like a butcher, not an office. It's a butcher. They're guarding that, and they're actually rather chatty. They're definitely not like the Buckingham Palace guards. Now they're talking to people. They seem to be enjoying the party as well.
I'm gonna turn some charm, walk over there, and say good night. How are things? How are you enjoying the party?
One of them looks up and he's like, oh, it's pretty fun so far. It's like I'm a little disappointed that I'm not allowed to be partaking in the free ale at the moment, but plenty of people to talk to, plenty of fun faces. I mean, are you enjoying it? You seem and he kind of takes a look back. He's like, oh, you seem ready for something. You see the two large axes stuck to your back. It's like oh, haven't quite met a woman like you before. It's hey, how you doing?
I offer him if he wants like a drink of my ale, just see if he wants like slip him a little drink.
Yeah, he's he thanks you, but he's like not Barnaby Jones over here ain't exactly too happy with me if I drink. So.
So where I'm from, I'm kind of part of a city watch, so I know your plight. How does this party get paid for? Who provides all these resources? Is it Saxton?
So the celebration of Imbolc is actually paid for primarily by Lord Saxton, but there is a tax that is basically, imposed upon every citizen to ensure that, we're able to put on the celebration without the leadership, having to pay too much. But the vast majority of the funds, it comes from Lord Saxton, as well as the other large families in the city. And he looks around and he says, and you didn't hear it from me, but I'm pretty sure they do that just to keep the populace happy.
It's a good way to keep them happy. I get that.
He says, yeah, usually free food and free beer usually makes them, I don't know, complacent? Yeah, and he actually kind of laughs a little bit. He's like, yeah, there's a lot of celebrations like this around. Seems like every month or so, there's another celebration just like this for some odd reason. It's like, yeah, we're celebrating the middle of winter. Yay, middle of winter, so fun.
And do the people get taxed every time?
I mean, they're always being taxed.
Yeah, I've heard as much. Do you think there is need for a lot of guard during these parties, or are people pretty civilized?
He's like, well, this is my sixth Imbolc celebration. I've worked several others, as I mentioned. They have one of these just about every month. It seems. It's like everyone likes to talk about, oh, we're celebrating the traditions of when the dwarves ruled the land and things along those lines. But it seems to me like it's a bunch of crap, and they're just trying to keep everyone happy for whatever reason, since everyone's life mostly sucks. As you can see, and when the guy says that kind of loud at that point, his fellow city watchman kind of looks at him, gives him a little bit of a side eye, but then just kind of laughs because he knows it's true. Yeah, but we don't need too many guards. I mean, honestly, for the most part, we're just protecting, Saxton's, investments. He owns this butcher shop. He owns the tavern that, just over there, and he actually points at the tavern that you came from was actually Saxton owned. It's probably why you saw those guards go into it. As a matter of fact, he owns most of the city, so that's why you don't see many of the other, family guards around. I mean, there's another one. He points at two, but for the most part, you see them dressed in the blue and silver look.
Well, what was your name again? I didn't catch your name.
Bob. How you doing, Bob?
Bob. Well, Morgan, it was nice talking to you. I'm going to get back to this stew. I'm waiting for it. But maybe we can get a drink some other time.
Sure. Swing on by. I'll buy you a drink to make sure you don't use those on me. Because, that looks like those would hurt.
A drink will go a long way.
Yeah. All right. Therian, what are you up to during this party?
Well, I think I wrapped up half a bandage pretty good, so I'm down a little bit, but I'm able to meander around and see a free drink on a table, grab it, start to make my way around the crowd, start to mingle around, and primarily I start to look for and ask around to see if there is anyone from Brant in the crowd.
Okay, let me see. Sure. Yeah, we'll go ahead and have you, you're asking around. It takes a little bit of time, but eventually you do find someone who, he's not from there, but he's got family there. He's like, oh, yeah, my old man lives there. Like, what did you want to know?
Does he have any business with the mine?
He's like, well, I've worked there back in, I was, as I say, when I was growing up there, I worked there, but I kind of got tired of it, as you do. Most of those towns, they're kind of dying. I don't know how to say it, but it seems like most of the younger kids they're always moving to the city for more opportunity because, I personally didn't want to live my entire life in a mine, but. I've worked it.
It's a hard life. It's a hard life. There's no doubt about it. Were there ever problems? It's a dangerous life. There's always equipment failures and work shortages and different things. But were there any other problems that the mine was experiencing, or had outside pressures, or was there anything that ever really interrupted the operation of the mine that was of note?
So he's kind of thinking about it. He's like, no, I ain't heard anything, but honestly, the only thing I can think of is that was, issues and things along those lines is, back a little bit before I was born. Supposedly the mine was owned by, one of the locals there in Brant. It was, owned and operated locally. But then, not too long after, as everyone's heard the story, Saxton's windfall in the last war, he came in, started spending money like a rich man does, and he started investing in all the local resources and pretty much bought up as much as he could. And well, when that happened, life definitely changed in Brant, from what I heard. Like I said, it was before I was born. You can tell this guy's probably like 16, 17. So
yeah,
it's been that way for a long time. And he kind of looks and thinks he's like, yeah, nothing out of the ordinary from what I've heard, but listen to my dad talk. He talks about the good old days and how they were actually able to make a proper living on the the profits from the iron that were sent in. Now that but ever since Saxton bought it up, keeps everything for himself and just pays everybody for their labor.
Any chance you recall the name of the family that used to own it?
Oh, it was the Brant family. It was named after them.
So the town and the family. Got it.
Yeah, there's not too many of them left. From what I heard, they kind of moved out of town after they sold. Once they sold to Saxton, because they made their windfall. And then, a lot of the townsfolk weren't too happy with them for selling. And then, they up and left. I think they moved to I think they moved to one of the city states out in the Midlands just to, buy up some bit of the land for themselves and just,
Sure.
settle down.
Spending money like rich people do.
As they do.
As they do. Well, I appreciate it. And your name again, my friend.
No, it's Sam. There you go.
Sam, I appreciate you sharing this information with me, and go have a free drink on me.
He laughs and says, "I will be certain to have another free drink on you."
I think with that, I'll enjoy my drink. Go sit by the Wicker Man and grab some food as it's available.
All right. Okay, so Beans, you wasn't too interested in the spices. Morgan, you talked to a couple people. Mordecai, you were going to bed, right? You muted.
I have to push the button.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm broken. I had 3 hit points left. Time to go recover.
All right. Perfect. So Raymond, you headed off to a local bookstore. I'm assuming. Did you go to there was a finer bookstore in the upper ring? I'm assuming that's the one that you went to.
Yeah.
Was there anything that you were looking for in particular?
Oh, I'm looking for that mysterious book 8 of that series I'm reading, but it is not I'm assuming it's not in there.
Go ahead and roll a percentile die. 1d100. So let's just say you got a 1% chance of it being there. It is a steamy romance novel there, Mr. Jared RPG. That's exactly what it is. No, sorry, with 39, you were unable to track it down. You found book 7, you found book 9, you found book 10, you even found book 33, and you were like, "What? I didn't even know they went that far." But no, book 8.
Fine. But I'll go in there for the other reason I went in there. So I will ask the shopkeeper about the book, but I will also ask about who is probably the most obnoxious noble in this town.
The bookkeeper he looks around and he he kind of sees if anyone is in the shop. Luckily, you caught him on an empty night because most people are not going to be book shopping during the middle of the one of the largest celebrations of the year. So he's like, "Well, to be perfectly honest, the most obnoxious noble is Lord Saxton, but as you'd probably guess, he's rather obnoxious. But in my personal opinion, they're all rather obnoxious."
Well, I'm looking a little bit lower on the totem pole with that.
Okay, so he kind of thinks about it, and he actually says that the most obnoxious person that he has ever dealt with is someone by the name of Jonathan Graves. And the funny thing is, you've heard of this person. So, this person that you are aware of, he is a member and ambassador to the Bardic League. So you have actually talked to him before. And
so I know what he looks like.
Yeah, you do know exactly what he looks like. And you think that, and you've talked to him because he actually was one of the ones who initially gave you the mission that you are currently on. Now, in that mission, he didn't give you too much detail, but he did, and I'll send it to you later what that specifically was. But it was he was very vague, but you do know exactly what he looks like, and he is, as you know, he is basically, and why he is so obnoxious, he is in charge of Lord Saxton's propaganda. So he is the one who puts out all of this wonderful glowing information about how wonderful it is to live in the city. And you specifically as a bard are this small little interaction that you have had with him, you know that he is a bit of an ass.
Excellent. I'll pass him a gold coin, and on my way out the door. Oh, by the way, since I'm on my way out of town, who? I'm not looking to run into any loan sharks. What part of town are they in?
Oh, the the bookkeeper or the shopkeeper looks a little confused and says, "Well, all I can tell you is they're not in this part of town."
Well, I hand him another. I flip him another coin. Any idea where? Because I don't want to get caught by one of these men.
So they think, and it says, for the most part, the loan sharks would actually be operating out of the Undercity in the old dwarven catacombs. And they actually give a little bit more detail, specifically saying that in the basically the western side of the catacombs, but they've never been there themselves. They just know as a shop owner who deals in some rather rare commodities, sometimes people have to get loans to purchase them. So that's how they are aware of where they are located and operate out of.
Thank you much. And I walk out.
All right.
Is there an unoccupied alley?
At this time of day, with all of the celebrations going on, in this part of town, there are a couple that you spot, but that doesn't mean there aren't several people walking by.
I will use a stealth check then.
Yeah, you definitely roll a stealth check, and if we'll see what happens.
Eh, 6.
Okay. So obviously you feel like you're being quite stealthy. You are hiding.
I'm gonna change clothes to the nicest pair I got.
All right.
And I'm gonna use my changeling ability and turn into that guy. And hopefully by the time I'm done getting loans, the man will have his legs broken the next day.
All right. So, yeah, you are successfully able to change into this person that was described to you as the most irritating of the nobles that the particular shopkeeper has ever worked with. You do know some of their mannerisms, so since you have interacted with them before, you obviously don't know anything about their personal life or anything along those lines, other than his name and what he does for a living, and how he operates for the Bardic League. So, if all you're doing is going and procuring a large sum of money, yeah, that's definitely something that you could do. But a couple people may give you a weird side eye, if when you go do that, only because he is a little known in the city. So here, let me go ahead and see. I'll go ahead and see if the person you're dealing with knows who they are. All right. So when you go, I'm assuming you go down there to where it was described as where the loan sharks are.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So you walk in, and I'm assuming you are asking about a sizable loan.
Not too large, but probably enough to cover our travel costs.
Okay. Go ahead and give me a deception check.
25.
So, guy's totally buying it. He thinks that you are 100% legit. So just so you know, he does recognize who you are supposed to be. This person has interacted with this particular individual, Jonathan Graves, by the way. And they're like, "Oh, hi, Mr. Graves. I wasn't aware that, you were in money trouble."
Listen, I don't want anybody to know. I mean, I didn't want to pull any money out. I'm on this side of town. I might as well. Listen, I just need some funds to go to the opium den up the street, and frankly, I just don't want anybody to know. If you want to collect the money, you can collect it tomorrow at my estate.
Okay. So with that, they're like, your secret is safe with me. I perfectly understand. That is not anything that I, am going to question you on. So, yeah, we'll go ahead and set up the funds transfer right now. And they write it up. They put it in the ledger, especially with the 25 deception. They've got no problem going right along with this. And they hand you a sizable, chunk of money. I'm assuming it's probably about 250 gold or more, maybe.
I'm throwing the horses.
Yep. Yeah. To rent the horses for several days would be roughly 50 gold a piece. So I mean, it's only because it's 50 gold total. It would be 10 gold for the total travel time because renting the horses is for the most part it's normal clientele. It's just that you may be gone for a while, so they would assume roughly 50 gold.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Once I'm out of the lower city, I'll turn back into Raymond. But it looked like I'm having fun at the party, at least with the fancier clothes.
Okay. All right. So with that, is there anything else you would like to do before we long rest and adjourn for the evening? All right. So with that, everyone, I'm assuming you go and get yourself probably a decent room now that you have a decent amount of funds. Not assuming you can go ahead and stick whatever room you were staying in before, but you could definitely afford an upgrade now. And in the morning, I'm assuming you would want to, all the 5 of you, make the trek towards the town of Brant. Well, perfect. And with that, everyone, I will say thank you very much for joining us and watching, because this is where we are going to wrap it up. And we will be back sometime in the month of December with... Don't know exactly the time yet, but we'll definitely let you know. So, watch Twitter for all of you who are into that kind of thing, and we'll let you know when the next one is. So, seriously, everyone, I hope you had fun. Okay.
A lot of fun. You rocked
Awesome,
it. You were awesome.
Okay.
You did a great job.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, I'm a little rusty, but I hope you don't mind the some of the names off the cuff, like Sam and Bob.
Bob.
I like Bob. Bob and I are friends now. That's fine.
I wrote Sam down, so it's official now.
It is official.
Yep.
Yeah.
Good
I wrote
stuff.
Bob
you can
down.
always fancy it up and have him be Robert.
Oh, well, he goes by Bob.
Samuel.
Yeah, he definitely goes by Bob. But seriously, thank you very much, everybody. We'll let you know when the next session will be. But like I said, I hope you all had fun. And
Very
with
much
that,
so.
I
Thank
will
you.
stop the stream. Say night-night.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Wow.